Hey there guys, welcome back to ARTFX Studios. It's quite late out here, so I'm gonna do it a little bit quiet today. But I wanted to show you a little bit because I have not done that many videos in the past couple of weeks. That's mostly because I'm trying to figure out how to do live streaming, and I want to get back with more, better, just a lot more videos. But I'm having this big problem with the setting up of the live streaming. It seems to be with my current setup, I'm not going to be able to do this. So I'm trying to find out what I need to do to upgrade to get this to work. And I'm getting into touch with a couple of companies who fabricate sound cards just to see if their products are going to be able to do what I want to do. And so far, I haven't found the right product yet. So I'm still working on that, but I want to get back with that soon. However, in the meantime, I've also been working on some sample packs and some preset packs. The first preset pack is going to be released really soon, and it's a pack for X-Ver Records Serum. It's aimed at neurofunk, neuro-hop producers, stuff like that, and really the heavy kind of bass sounds. So, that's going to be released soon, and this particular video, I want to talk about the process that I did to create the sound demos that are up on my SoundCloud. I'll put a link to that playlist on SoundCloud in the description of this video. That playlist has a whole bunch of audio demos that demonstrate how these presets sound. In the pack, you get 25 presets and 30 wavetable samples. So you can go further than just using the presets. Now, the presets are completely mapped with macro controls, and you can really automate away on them and really create a whole bunch of different sounds. But I did something more to just the demos. I not just gave you a sound demo of the patch itself. I also tried to give you a resampled version so that you get an idea of what more you can get from just a patch like that. So I got some questions of people who wanted to know how I did this and how I resampled these things to make them sound better. And I just want to, give you guys a little bit of a preview on how I do these things. So right here, I've got one of the projects for the sound demo of a patch. The patch in particular is the neurophonic patch. I think it sounds pretty okay. Now, the first part right here, this is the actual patch. Don't worry about that one. And this block right here is basically the same patch, but then put into a sampler to create some more interesting stuff. Now, on the whole group, I've got some reverb and a compressor just to bring the level up. And I'll play you this. So you can hear it sounds pretty interesting. It really has that neuro-ish kind of vibe to it. Really that sound you hear a lot in neurofunk and neurohop and stuff like that. So I'll get to it. What I did is I had this patch. I'm not going to talk too much about the patch. You can see what I've done, but it's not really worthy to try and copy these settings, but because you need these particular wavetables to work to get the same sound. But I basically just rendered out that track and just rendered it to audio. just like that. I haven't included the reverb, by the way. I just turned this off, done the resampling thing on the audio track, and turned this back on so that the reverb is not in this sample. The reverb is only on the final sound. Then I went in and created a bunch of MIDI tracks, and these MIDI tracks are actually what creates this second part. So let me open them up. You can see that I'm constructing this loop out of just a couple of different things. What I'm doing here is I'm using this sample that's right there, and I'm throwing it on into a sampler, which is one of the devices in Ableton Live, the sampler, and I throw them in there, and I play around with either pitch envelopes, as I've done right here. I think it would be great to just turn everything off that I did. So turn that off and turn that off. So when I drag this into the sampler, the first thing I do is I tell it which note I've used as the root note, which in this case was an F1. So I told the sampler that this is an F1, and now every time I hit an F1 note, it will play back the exact audio file. So I created this pattern. And when I just soloed that track, and that's without any processing applied to this. So that's just almost no processing at all. And what I decided to do is add the pitch envelope. So I added that pitch envelope of plus 12 semitones with a decay time of almost 3 seconds. That's pretty long, and what it's going to do, it's going to change the pitch of this sample. So you have to tweak it a little bit to get the right sound, but I think that sounds much better than this. It also gets a slightly different sound on the longer hit, and that's because we're pitching this sample now. And since we're working with an audio file, as soon as you start pitching this, what's going to happen is the audio file itself will play back faster. So without the pitch envelope, if I zoom in on the first part of this sound, you can see it comes to about here. To about here. And when I turn the pitch envelope on, you can see it comes to right here. So it comes to, so you actually hear this small portion of the next hit in the audio clip right at the end of this note. So that's pretty cool. Gives it a slightly different kind of motion, kind of movement, and that's really good. So I then went in and added a filter. Now I'm using the multi 12 dB more filter thing. I've set it to a notch, and you can see where I've set my frequency at about 1K. Added the filter envelope, because without the filter envelope, it sounds better. But I wanted to give it a slight, sort of like a slight automation on that filter frequency, just at the start of each note. Just to give it some more movement right at the start of that sound, just at each transient. Then I decided to add a little bit of distortion using the shaper right here. Just brings the level up slightly. Then I've added the Wow 2 filter by Sugar Bytes. Nothing too drastic, dry wet is all the way up using a notch filter. Volume is at the default position. Um, no resonance, just a small little bit of the hyperbolic distortion that is set before the filter. And then I am automating the filter frequency right here with an LFO. You can see the LFO right here. Saw wave shape with a 1/4 time. Audio trigger is turned on, and every time the audio comes above this particular level, it will be triggered. Just gives it a slightly different sound without and with. I kind of like it. Then the next layer is basically the same thing. The only thing I did is I changed the start position. So I'm starting at a different point in time, and I've also turned on the reverse option. Now, what that reversing is going to do is that it's not going to start right here when it's going to play the file, but it's going to start right here. The cool thing about this one is I'm using the pitch envelope, and because of that, I'm going beyond the end of this note, which is actually the start, but since we're playing in reverse, it becomes the end. And that gives it that weird, almost like Game Boy or Mario kind of sound. It's basically just that reversed transient of that sound, which already had a pitch envelope on it. So you get that. Same thing, same amount of semitones, same decay time. I changed the filter frequency and the amount on the filter envelope, and I think I also changed the decay time. Yeah. WOW 2 is set to the same setting as far as I can see. Okay, I'm using a different position for the cutoff, but that's basically it. Everything else is the same. Then we are going to get this one. Now this one is again a reversed sound using that kind of thing. So you can see I've just changed those start positions. And I can change. We can change those start positions to really get a different sound. Makes you have a lot of possibilities with these particular start and end markers, and that also brings me to the next sound, because I'm doing the same thing over and over again right here. You can see 3 seconds on the decay time. Same stuff going on again here. Maybe a slightly different position for the filter frequency as well. Some slightly different settings for the envelope. But other than that, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. I'm just trying to find different start positions within the sampler. Same goes for here. But here I've done something different. We're using this in reversed, so it's starting right here. Might want to bring that in just slightly. And what I'm doing is I'm also creating a loop, which is this part. I can put it right here, or I can put it right there. You get a different sound. So what this is doing is it's basically looping this region, and normally you would have this. So it would just play until the note ends. And we also have this one, which basically means it's going to play the loop, and then as soon as the loop ends, it's going to start back at the start position of the loop. So you can see it goes all the way through and then jumps back to the start position. This one is slightly different. It's going to play from start to the end of the loop, and then it's going to go back to the start position. So that way I sort of like managed to sustain this particular sound right here. Pretty cool. Then I have one final thing at the end, which is that pitch bending kind of thing, which I really like. And you do this by you find a region in the sound that you like, and then you take the pitch envelope and then you really just make a ridiculous amount of pitch bending. So let's see. So you got something like that, which is really cool. And I want to demonstrate that to you. So let's close these all down and let's just solo that track. And I'm gonna drag this audio clip in here. Now, by default, it will create a sampler, and we need a sampler. So I'm gonna right click and convert that to a sampler. Then I'm gonna make sure that this is an F1, like that. And let's create an audio file in here. So let's make that F note. And I want to make a pitch bending kind of thing with this. So that's just what we're going to get. And now I want to search for a position in this sound that I like. So I'm just going to do a random one. Let's make it start right here. That could be interesting. Always try to find which ones sound good. You might want to look for something that sounds interesting. Maybe I am going to use this one. I think I like that. So now what I want to do is I want to turn on the looping. And you can see we get this loop region. So I'm going to make that much smaller. And I'm going to go and do it about there. Zoom in. And let's see how this sounds. So we're getting something interesting. We can turn on snapping. And okay, so that sounds pretty good. Now, I'm going to attach a pitch envelope with 12 semitones to this. And I'm going to make this slightly longer. I can drop this to minus 100%. And we get that. So you can see how we can create really interesting stuff. So that sounds good. I could do something like this. Let's just try and create a fast loop for now. And let's give this a higher note right there. that sounds quite interesting. We can see how this sounds when we do the other looping mode. Maybe a little bit of crossfade. Yeah, that sounds quite cool. We can also change the attack. Yeah. Okay, so now I can go to the filter, bring this up until we see 0NO/LP. So that means we are now having a notch, and I can try and find something that sounds good. Let's take the 24. Ooh. I like that. I'm gonna use the pitch envelope. Let's bring it down a little bit. Yeah. So let's turn the shaper on a little bit. And now I'm gonna duplicate this track because I wanna make a different sound for this one right here. So just gonna put it in the second one. Let's try and find a different kind of sound. Maybe reverse this and do something like. Might wanna turn reverse off, and let's try and find a different start position. So that sounds quite cool. Might want to change this ever so slightly. And then we could duplicate this again. Let's duplicate this one, get rid of this, and just get rid of that one. Let's try and find something different. Why not? Let's do this. Let's turn the pitch envelope off. try and turn this on. Do a triangle. We might want to change the higher pitch envelope. Or a different start position. You know, let's try a reversed one. And let's make one final one. Just gonna do that. I'm gonna drop this one right here. And I'm gonna make this a pretty high note. That sounds amazing. I can drop this down. You know, and we might want to so I quite like that. Might want to have a different attack time on this. So you can see how this works. Make it a 24 semitones. Sounds pretty cool. So there you have it. It's pretty easy to create sounds like this. You can really take your patches a whole lot further with this kind of thing. Much further than within a synth. I mean, creating this in a synthesizer would be really difficult and maybe even impossible. I prefer to do this. It's great fun. Um, you find out a whole bunch of new things, and when you end up with something that you like, just export it. You know, just export it and use it that way. Save it to a sample folder. I don't know. Save it for later. Um, yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you like this. I hope I was able. You could hear me because this is a different mic than I'm normally using, and I'm talking quite pretty quiet because it's already very late out here. So yeah, other than that, if you want to see more of my videos, subscribe to this channel. You can also go to my website where you can find products for music producers, download those and get access. You can come to the forum where you can post messages and talk to other music producers. You can follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, stuff like that. You will be able to find everything in the description below this video. And this pack with presets is going to be released in the upcoming week, maybe early next week. I'm not totally sure yet. I'm also working on a preset pack, or I'm also working on a sample pack, I need to say, that features only beatbox sounds. I've had a past in beatboxing, and I wanted to create a sample pack with beatbox sounds, so I'm gonna do that next week. And you know, these are gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be beatbox sounds aimed at EDM producers or electronic music producers. So yeah, I'm gonna include some drum and bass, dubstep kind of things. Mostly everything will be aimed at drums, beatbox drums. Might I might include some bass things. Maybe I might even include some instruments create from samples that I've thrown into a sampler. Might do that as well for everybody that uses Ableton. Yeah, other than that, I hope you like this video and I hope to see you back soon. Peace.